Hi, good morning. Today I will show you how to use the HexDate application, which is a combination of a hexadecimal calculator and also a regular calendar which integrates with the calendaring on the iOS iPhone devices. So let's get started. When you launch the HexDate calendar, you are automatically placed with the defaulted date, which happens to be May 25th, 2015. You will notice that the calendar looks typically like any calendar you've seen before, with a Sunday through Saturday and the dates. When you first start it, the date, which is the current date, will be highlighted in blue. And if you click on other dates, you will notice that that date changes to a yellow background. You have the ability to do multiple things with this application. Before I go into it in more detail, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the information button that you can always use to refer back to what is going on with the various functionalities within this app. So if I click on the I will be prompted with a list item that it kind of explains what you can do with the calculator. So I'm not going to take the time to go through each one of them, but I'm just going to scroll so that you can see the meaning of the various icons and so on and so forth. The calendar is, as I mentioned in my opening, is versatile in the sense that it can be used by engineers for who have a heavy need for hexadecimal conversion of dates back and forth, but it also can be used by any ordinary person who doesn't have a need for the hexadecimal conversions. One thing of note that I would like to point out is as you get familiarized with it, you will find out that you can do multiple types of searches on the calendar. And as you do so, you will see a set of symbols that appear within the entry. For example, the T, if you see a T looking symbol, that means that whatever you're searching for is found in the title of the event. N says that you're finding something within the notes. A is for attendees and L is for location. If you see an R in the red circle in your calendar, that means that the event that you have is a recurring event. Okay. As I've explained, the blue and yellow background. The Today button gets you back to today's date. And you have some specific icons to let you know what you're looking at. You can if you put the right location when you create an event, or if you receive an event that has a geocoded location, the calendar will also show you where that's happening. I'll give you an example. So let's go back. So as I mentioned, you can gesture right, left, and it will change accordingly, and it will adjust the hex date, the reverse date, the Julian date. You basically have two versions of this calendar. You can, when you open it, it will start from Sunday to Saturday, but you have the option of turning that off, and it will actually start from the first day of the month all the way to the end of that month, and default to the day that it starts on the first. So for example, for the month of May, it starts on a Friday. If I go to June, it's a Monday. you notice that the calendar stays the same. It's just the title that changes. If you switch back to the Sunday through start, it'll readjust to Sunday and then move the dates accordingly. The X on button, essentially, if you switch it off, then you go back to just a regular calendar, and but you also have the ability to look at what's going on for the week, the year, or the month, and search for those events. So since I'm using the calendar on a simulator, I will not have that many events, but I will create some so that you can see it. So let's see what's going on in the week. As you can see, I clicked on the week. There's no events. Okay, so I'm going to quickly go back, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to say I'm going to go here, and I will have a plus button here, and so I will enter a test event just for show. I'm going to say test event. Press enter, it goes to notes. Test event addition located in, let's say, Paris, France. Press enter, it goes back, and now I can enter Paris, France, and click the add button. When I do that, I come back to the existing calendar. I go back to events, and as you can see now, I have a test event that was created between 1300 p.m. and 14 p.m. If I click on it, I'll see the detail for it. There's no attendee list. I added a note that says it was a test event edition located in Paris, France. And then if I click on the location, you'll see that it will take me directly to a geocode in Paris. I now have the ability to look at the satellite view or the hybrid, back to standard if I want to, and then I can go back, or I can click home. Okay. The other thing that I can do is when I'm sitting in a calendar mode for any dates, any month, I can click here, and essentially it will bring me a picture of that month with the date, whether it's the current date or another date that I've chosen, and I can email a picture of that calendar to somebody that I'm interested in. I'm not going to do that in any of the demo. Click on today, I go back to today's date, and if I switch, if I want to switch month, I can do this, and again it adjusts. If I want to switch years, I click, going forward, backward, so on and so on and so on. And again, every time I readjust the calendar, if I click, it readjusts the calendar print to show the one that I've selected. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the X piece of it for those who might be interested and have a need for it. So when I click the hex on button, I see the date representation, the hex date representation, the reverse complement of that date, and then the current Julian date for the date and the month that I have selected. If I click today, you will see that all of these will be readjusted, and it says that May 25th is Julian date 145. So let's quickly take a look at the buttons at the bottom. HA stands for XAll. So basically, once I click on this, it's going to take the current month and give you a listing of all of the dates of that month in hexadecimal format. So if I do this, you can see that it switches from 1 through 31 and gives the representation of that month. Again, I can email that representation to one or more people. I'll go back. If I switch to let's say April, and I do the same thing, you can see that it goes to April and so on. RHA stands for the reverse complement, which is the second button right here. If I do this, again, I can do a reverse, and again, I can email it, and so on. Okay. The HDI stands for a hexadecimal. So in other words, if I know what the hexadecimal value of a date is, and I want to know what that year is, so I can directly key it in. And as an example, if I click this, and it'll tell me that this was January 1, 1987. And again, I can click, go forward, go right, go left, and then increment the year from there, like that, or I can go back to today. RHI is exactly the same thing that I did for the except for the reverse. So if I click, I do this, and if I know again what the value of the date is in hexadecimal, I can enter it and it'll take me to that date. So the example that I have happens to be December 29, 2014. Again, same functionality. I can go right, go left, and so on. Julian, self-explanatory. For Julian date, I'm asked to enter a Julian date between 1 and 366, depending on whether the year is leap or non-leap. But just to show you, if I enter, let's say something like 400, it'll tell me that's an invalid Julian date. However, if I key, let's say 235, and I press enter, it now tells me that Julian date 235 happens to be Saturday, August 23rd, 2015. Okay. Again, from there, I can check to see if I have events and so on. Okay. So let's go back to today, for example, where I actually keyed in an event. Okay. Actually, where did I do this? Did I put it here? Actually, let me search it a different way. So I will turn it off, and I will do a yearly search. And because when you do a yearly search, you may have a lot of events in your calendar, you are prompted with a message that tells you that depending on how much information you have stored on your calendar, it may take a while and might even make your UI freeze a little bit. But I'll show you a way where you can limit that. If you choose no, then of course the search doesn't go forward. I'll click yes, and as you can see, okay, now it starts showing me all of the recurring events that are going on that may be coming from Facebook or the calendar. As you can see, I had entered, this is a test when I was doing different type of events, okay, prior to doing this demo. So let me go look for France. So if I click on France here, it immediately it takes me to the event, and it says, because I had typed FRAN, if I say FRNCE, it tells me that I'm going to find that reference in the note. So I can click on it here, and I can go here, and not only will it show you, but it will highlight in your notes where the word France occurs, which is a nifty little feature. Okay. Now I'm going to go back, and I'm not going to mess around with this particular one. I'm going to use another one. So, like for example, I had created a test recur, okay, a while back, which was when I was playing around with the calculator. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that you can actually delete events from there, and if you swipe left, you get the delete button, and you can delete it. Okay, which is another one that I had done, and I can keep deleting different ones that I have created. Okay. And of course, I can always add anytime I want to. So just to show you, I'll go to the 25th, and I'm going to say test 2 to add and delete. Okay, press enter, add, go there, here's test 2. Okay, I didn't put a location. If I swipe left, delete it, go back, check events again, it's gone. Okay, so you can go back to any year that you want, and which is a very nifty little feature of the calculator. Typically on the iOS device, it will limit you to the current year. But in this case, if you've added an email that has calendaring to your iPhone, you can go as far back as you have events on your calendar, and you can key in on using the DTI. So like again on the simulator, I'm not going to have that many dates. But I'm going to show you that it will go to the date that you want, and always you can switch back. I hope that you found this demo useful, and you can find us on Facebook, on Twitter, and you can download this app from the App Store. Thank you for watching.